Hi folks, lesson number 18, Hebrew for all. So let's get straight to work. Really this is very straightforward review of the prior class, number 17, and adding some information that I feel is essential in order for you to feel more comfortable with the material that we learned in that class. So just to quickly remind you, we had learned in the prior class the Li chart. And the Li chart is, as I'm sure you all remember, Li, L'cha, Lach, Lo, La. Notice I'm writing it without any vowels. Lanu, Lachem Lachen, and Lahem Lahen. Now, I told you in that last class that the Li chart is most commonly used with the two famous words Yesh and Ein. There is, and as I comically say, there ain't, there is and there ain't, and it's the juxtaposition, the putting together of those two words, those two concepts of Yesh, plus one of the components of the Li chart, Ein, plus one of the components of the Li chart, that gives us the concept in Hebrew of possession. Really, it's the verb in English have. In Hebrew, we would say, one might translate that as, there is to me a brother, which in English would be, I have a brother, and it would turn out to be, Yesh li ach. There is to me a brother. I have a brother. Okay, that could be a new word for some of you. Ach. But when I learned with you that Li chart, I gave you its definition as being both to me and for me. And I'd like to give just a few quick examples of how the chart could be functioning as for me as well. So let's say, for example, that I would like to say in Hebrew, he's writing me a letter. He's writing me a letter. So I feel like the reason that I have to teach this is because I've never explained to you quite this construction. So he's writing, hu kotev, I'm sure you could do that on your own, and I hope you did. Hu kotev, and now in English we would say he's writing me, but in reality what we mean is he's writing to me. Isn't that so? That is what we mean when we're saying in English, he's writing me a letter. Hence the Hebrew, hu kotev li michtav. Hu kotev li michtav. That's a letter. Not a letter of the alphabet, a letter that you write on stationery. Or one could say, how would you say in Hebrew, and I invite you to write this down, he's closing the door for me. Maybe in English you can say he's closing for me the door, but in Hebrew the way this would come out, and I welcome you to pause and do this on your own for a second, hu soger li et hadelet. And I believe that in Hebrew this is what is called the most normative or commonly accepted way of saying this sentence. Hu soger li, which if I were really translating word in the exact word order, I would have to say in English, he's closing for me the door. But here I'm suggesting that I believe the most normative Hebrew way of doing this would be hu soger li et hadelet. Please pay careful attention how I stuck a et in there. Whoops. And I made a teeny mistake, which I'm correcting immediately on the spot. Et hadelet. Usoger li et hadelet. And I'm going to leave this mistake in there because I want you to see how I corrected it and appreciate its significance. Usoger li et hadelet. Notice how the li is coming between the verb and et hadelet. Lesson number 18. Looking forward to seeing you in the upcoming class. Shlomo Itan, Hebrew for All.